The next topic is staff turnover and hiring of staff. And this topic is very much, it's for all countries we're working in. It's kind of like so many people, almost all small business owners, they always want to keep their staff. And they want to always hire only good staff. And they do all kinds of interview to make sure they get the right staff. And they're always on top of it, want to get the staff perfectly working before they aim for expansion. And it is big problem. Number one, they'll never get the right staff. Staff doesn't stick with them in most cases. And I'm not so much going to talk to you today about how to improve the staff sticking with you, even though that can be done to a degree. I want to actually more point out the fact that there will be staff turnover. And that this is extremely relevant to, let's just say, India. In the last 15 years in India, staff turnover became a big hassle. That's just because India didn't know staff turnover before. Yet where I come from in Europe and in the United States of America, staff turnover was around ever since I grew up. I had 20 or 30 jobs. Wow. Most of them because I wanted to move on. Some of them because I just simply didn't like them. And some of them because I got fired because the bosses didn't think I was good enough or fit in the organization for one reason or another. So, I've been on both fences basically. On one hand, I was switching jobs like other people change shirts. And on the other hand, I was in charge of very large operations with very large companies. I think the largest was like, having literally close to 1,000 people under my command. And I had my own business with 20, 30, 50, etc., 70, 100 employees. One way or the other way, as I said, I'm on both sides. On one hand, I wanted to have good staff and stay with me. And on the other hand, I was myself job hopping. So, let me tell you this. Staff wants to grow just like you want to grow. In most cases, they need to go outside to grow, which should give you a small hint. One of the ways to keep good staff with you is that your business grows. What do you think why people want to go to IBM or to Tata or to Reliance or to Coca-Cola? Why? I tell you why. Because there is business opportunity to grow. They could possibly move from a receptionist to a God only knows what, a chief administrator, from a salesperson to a sales executive, and even do a CEO and do a God only knows what. They can't do that with a small company. A dentist who stays, more or less the same size, and a receptionist is there, and that's all the jobs you can have for the rest of their life because there will be no other job. See, the increase in normal yearly salary is not enough to satisfy people. And if it is enough to satisfy a person, I don't think that person is a good person. If somebody comes into my office and sits down on an interview and says, well, sir, Mr. Flash, I'm looking for a home. I'm looking somewhere to be for the rest of my life. And let's say the guy is 20 or 30 or 40 for that much. I go, okay, that's great. This is not your home. Goodbye. Because A, the guy's lying through his teeth, which is most likely, or he's a complete loser. Why the hell at 20, 30, or 40 for that much would he be looking for a home? Unbelievable. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, and especially you in India, this is a phenomenon which is with you. Staff turnover which will be with you. Number one, the way to increase the staff staying with you a little bit more is, as I just said, have a growing organization. And number two, learn how to give doable orders. Okay? All right? I might say train your employee, but that's actually not... that also, basically, train your employee. Fine, let's put that on it. See, large companies invest a huge amount in training their employees. And again, large companies don't do the things they do because they're large. They do these things, those things make them large. So you've got to do that. Okay? You've got to train them. However, there's the fact of doable orders. Most executives Most bosses do not know how to give orders. They give orders such as be friendly. They give orders such as let's get the sales up. They give orders such as build a good machine. They don't give specific orders. It's like when your mom told you clean the room, or your wife tells you, or your spouse tells you to clean the room. Well, clean to your mom is something different than to you in many cases. All right? Being friendly. You know, you tell me to be friendly. In fact, just this morning, you know, as we are now shooting this movie, and just this morning I had a conversation with one of my clients, and I basically told him to go to hell. And, you know, I don't think he thinks I'm friendly, and yet I think I'm an extremely friendly person just because I told the guy to go to hell. You see my point? All right. Now, people do not give, this is definitely not a topic of how to give doable orders today. This is in itself a whole training sessions with no doubt. So you've got to train people. You've got to learn how to give doable orders. You've got to say, hey, so we want more sales. This is what you need to do. You need to get this type of people's list. Like, let's just say it's the people who manufacture this type of plastic, and I want you to get the list from these people in this type of area, like in this country, in this state, from wherever. Go and figure it out, or go to this and this mailing house and somehow get the list. And get the phone number, the address, the email, get this and that. You got to give exact orders. Good. Then once you have it, what you do is you write them a letter. Here's the type of letter you write, or here's the exact letter I want you to write. And then I want you to write another letter or another email or another phone call 3 days later, 4 days later, blah, blah, blah. What is the exact sequence? And you give the quantity, and you give all those exact doable orders. Now you get something done. Now, if you don't know how to do it, then you need to take the responsibility to learn how to do it, or you need to take the responsibility to hire a person who knows how to do that. Otherwise, you're dead. Okay, trust me. So, and probably the most important part is that your company is growing, which, however, if you do give doable orders and train your employees, your company probably will be growing. Not 100% if you don't do some other things. But nevertheless, you have a good chance. So that your company is growing, because that's the only way good people will want to stay with you. It's almost the most important thing. Good people will want to stay with you only if there is great opportunity, if they can become leaders and can be proud of, okay? Normal increases in salary, which is like the normal yearly type of increase for the same type of position, doesn't excite good people. Only losers will want to stick in that damn position. All right. Now, however, that said, really what I want to point out in this particular session is that the staff turnover, even with those things, will still be with you, no matter what. And that the most important thing is that you set up a system, a hiring and firing, and yes, a training type of training system, so that the staff turnover doesn't bother you. Now, does that mean it doesn't cost some money? Of course it does. Let's make an example here. Let's assume a sewage system. Let's take a sewage system. In any city, be it Los Angeles or Bombay, a city without a sewage system is a pretty bad place to be. Okay? In India, there are still some cities where the sewage system is probably not quite what it should be. And many people can remember from 20 and 30 years ago that the sewage system, even in a good city like Bombay, wasn't in every place the way it should be. You don't want to go back to that way. And so, even though nobody wants to spend money, tax money or any money, to build a sewage system, it is the lesser of two evils. It's a little bit like with going to the doctor. Who wakes up in the morning and saying, I want to go to the doctor? Who wakes up in the morning and say, I love to take vitamins, I love to have to buy expensive food so that I get good nutritional food and all that type of stuff so that I can stay healthy? Nobody says he loves that. But it's the lesser of two evils. You have to do it.